Hey guys, I'm Toby with Portable Tech Review. Today we're going to look at the 2015 edition of the Blue Life 1. Now, the Blue Life 1 is a 5-inch smartphone with 720p resolution. It has a Gorilla Glass 3. It comes with a Snapdragon 410 processor, Adreno 305 graphics, 8 gigs of onboard storage, and 1 gig of RAM. Now the phone is fairly thin. It's under 8 millimeters thick. Fairly thin bezels on the sides. But the phone is rather tall, especially considering Blue is not using capacitive buttons on this model. Now, up top we have a 5 megapixel selfie camera, and you can see here blinking we have an LED notification light. The bottom of the phone, as I said, there are no buttons. Blue is going with on-screen controls this time. On the right side you have your power and volume rockers inside this metal trim. The other side of the phone is clean, no controls or ports. The top of the phone has your headphone port, and the bottom of the phone your charging port. Around back we have a soft touch sandstone type finish. It hides fingerprints pretty well, but you can see there it does pick up some oils from your skin, but it's not bad. You get a 13 megapixel camera up top with a flash, Blue branding and 4G LTE branding just above a speaker grill down near the bottom. Now, at first look, I was convinced that the battery was not removable and the cover was not removable, but the wraparound design does fool the eye a little bit. You actually use the charging port and the back does come off. Now, once you remove the back, you see that it is a non-removable 2400 milliamp battery. You do have your micro SD and your SIM slot and the speaker, of course, at the bottom, and the camera. So we'll snap the cover back on. And the phone is fairly light at about 120 grams, and like I said, it's thin and has a fairly narrow bezels. Now, one thing I'm not a big fan of is how the finish on the back wraps around to the edges, so there's a raised lip around the phone. Now, you may like that. It may actually protect the screen a little bit if you were to lay it face down. Kind of holds it with the grippiness of the finish. Now, it is running KitKat 4.4.4 out of the box, and as I said, Blue has gone with on-the-screen controls. Now, the phone is not a screamer. It's not something you're going to impress your friends with benchmarks, but we have seen this interface from Blue before, where it forgoes the traditional Android app tray. Instead, it puts all of your settings right here on the home screen. Now, if you press and hold, you do open up a panel where you can choose widgets, wallpapers, and different effects. If we choose wallpaper, you'll see you can scroll through the many different wallpapers that are on board. If you choose one, you get the option to set the home screen, lock screen, or both, and you also have a blur effect. Now again, with the 410 processor and only 1 gig of RAM, it does take a moment to do this kind of thing, but we get there nonetheless. So as you can see, the wallpaper is not blurred. If we choose the wallpaper again, we can go several different levels of blur, 25, 50, 75, or 100%. If we choose the 100% blur, you'll see the flower is completely out of focus, and if it's a style you like, more power to you. We're going to go ahead and take this back to one of the more standard non-blurred wallpapers. The effects that you can set here affect how the screen swipe left to right, and of course you access your widgets here as well. So we'll change the effect to the cube variety, and you'll see how it creates a cube as we scroll around. One thing that I do definitely like with the software enhancements that Blue has included is if you go to menu, or settings rather, and you go to home, you can see I have multiple home launchers on here. And it works really well, and it's a great way if you're going to switch back and forth between home launchers. Rather than going and finding the default setting and changing that, if I want to go to the Google Now launcher, tap, go back home, and we're now in the Google Now launcher. You can change it back and forth just that easily. Now, I do prefer the more standard Android interface where you get the app tray, so I don't use the stock launcher. I like Holo Launcher for some of the features you get, such as you can swipe down anywhere to bring down your notifications. You can actually hide. You can actually purchase an upgraded version and use many different gesture applications. The software is smooth enough. 4.4.4 is what we have. It is promised to go to Lollipop. Now, when and if Blue will follow through on that is yet to be seen. But they do make that promise. Now, it is decidedly budget at 1 gig of RAM and the 410 processor clocked at 1.2 gigahertz. But all in all, the phone functions well enough for your day-to-day tasks. You do see some lag, as you saw just trying to change the home page. It did take it a minute. But all in all, the phone is a solid value. Now, the cameras are decent. They do provide reasonable photos if you have the lighting is right. And all in all, for the budget price of $149, I think the phone is definitely worth taking a look. The biggest problem I have with this phone is other phones, like the 2 gig version of the Asus Zenfone 2, where a better processor, better storage, or I should say more storage, more RAM. It is a thicker package, but for only $50 more. So if there's a downside to the Blue Life 1 2015 edition, it's the fact that other phones have caught up and passed Blue in its budgetiness. So that's a quick look at the Blue Life 1 2015 edition. I'm Toby with Portable Tech Review. If you like what you see, give me a thumbs up, leave a comment, and better yet, subscribe so you don't miss anything. Thanks again for watching. Have a good day.